Look into the abyss!
Judgment incoming. Hunt down the beast.
Hello everyone, this is Berdish from Epic Tabletop, where we strive to give you best hobby experience. Now, today we will be looking at the Witch Hunters from another Kickstarter from AXIA, the Tales of the Old World. It's a very characterful bunch of miniatures. It is approved for 9th age and 1-page rules, but of course you can use them for many more games, like, well, Mordheim for once, Frostgrave, Forbidden Psalm, or whatever comes to your mind. So if you are interested in seeing and hearing how I went about printing, painting, assembling, and comparing these miniatures to some similar minis, then let's get going.
Let's do some witch hunting.
Please remember that if you are interested in a particular part of the material, you can use progress bar and timestamps visible there to jump to any video chapter that you desire. Also, if you like what you see and hear, please remember to subscribe. It costs only a few seconds of your time and means a world to me. So I have started in my usual way. Using Glitchy Slicer, I have set up some of minis. Then of course it was printing time. I am still using my trusted Elegoo Mars 2 printer. Here I must admit I did encounter some issues, but it seems they were caused by me switching pretty much for the first time to a different resin. The issue was that I took this new resin settings from the net. I didn't run any exposure tests, and I ended up with some parts not being a perfect fit as they should be. I corrected the issue by mentioning testing, and from that point onwards everything was nice and smooth, when it comes to printing, that is. But as an off-topic thing, I have a question for those of you out there who are resin printing minis. I have switched from Syria resin to Sunlu, as you can see, and I can't shake the feeling that minis printed with Sunlu are visibly less detailed than the ones printed with Syria. I mean, I know Syria is a much more expensive choice, but I did research the subject and listened to some knowledgeable people saying that Sunlu rocks. So, any of you have any experience with Sunlu? What do you guys think about this resin? Maybe I still need some tweaks to my print settings? Well, anyway, now back to Witch Hunters. After printing there was an isopropanol ultrasound bath and support removal. No surprises there. I have printed all the minis I have received from Giuseppe in a promotional pack, and I was trying to decide and choose few of them for painting and presenting in this review. My first choice was this guy. Certainly not the most show-off mini out of the whole bunch, but I like this guy a lot. His uncomplicated pose, his huge brazier-like stuff, and his stern, calm look on his face. When it comes to painting, I can and will not try to match the professionalism and beauty of Giuseppe's minis. Still, I always like to paint the minis presented to me for reviews to get a feel for them and to see what I can do with them. So, let's entertain this idea and let's do some quick painting of my chosen Witch Hunter mini. I mean, this is not a painting video, so it will be rather basic in its form. But if you want to see some more of my painting, I have published recently, very unpopular because of reasons, video about orc painting. Please show it some love by watching it. So, First of all, I was trying to decide on colors I wanted to use for my warband, and I couldn't. Then I remembered that I have an old GW Witch Hunter mini that was left to me by my friend some 20 years ago. He painted it rather nicely, and I thought that this color scheme suits me rather well. Hence, I decided on colors. I started by dry brushing the mini with medium grey and then lighter dry brush of pure white. Next I had to play with my cat because this beloved beastie was aggressively craving for my attention, and I couldn't do any painting unless I tire her out with playtime first. Now, back to painting. I decided to paint his rope/gold thing with an Army Painter speed paint called Burst Blue. I pretty much never use speed paints as single source of shade and highlight, so this will be later on highlighted with Army Painter Fanatic Paints Night Sky and then Thunderous Blue. Fluffy, Landsknecht-like clothing will be in violet. Since I don't have too many paints in this department, I will mix Vallejo Violet with Fanatic Army Painter Alien Purple to get 3 shades. I also painted all the armor parts black, and his face got a layer of Army Painter Topaz skin. That was later on highlighted with the mix of Vallejo Flat Flesh and Army Painter Dorado skin. Armor was then given a layer of Army Painter Plate Mail Metal. This rim on his hood and coat was painted red along with bands on his arms. Again, Army Painter paints were used, Wyvern Fury at first, then pure red and touch of Raging Rose in the end. Leather parts like gloves, belts and shoes were painted using Army Painter Triage system with Fanatic paints from Rudy Brown's set. Triage system is truly excellent. If you want to see and hear more about it, again please watch my orc painting video. Then I did the fire in the brazier stuff. No fuss here, I use speed paints again, yellow on the bottom where the fire is the hottest, orange in the middle and red on top. I allowed paints to mix and blend together. Afterwards, when everything was dry, I did some small touches with ordinary paints to cover some inconsistencies in fire pattern. Brazier stuff got painted first, black then with GW Lead Belcher, then washed with Army Painter Dark Tone mixed with Strong Tone. The same wash was applied to armor parts. Crossbow was given coat of Army Painter Speed Paint Dark Wood, mixed slightly with water. Silver chain on his chest was painted with Desert Yellow Army Painter Speed Paint, and his beard was painted light grey and given the wash of Dark Tone, and that's pretty much it, apart from some small details. I think he looks pretty great. Now, here are a few more minis that I have painted for this review. I think they look fantastic and coherent as a group. As you may probably see, not everywhere speed paints were employed. Some of the bluish color was done with layering, but I must admit I'm neither skilled nor patient enough to employ this technique of several repeated layers of thin, watered-down paint. This may be visible on a Warrior Priest cape. I actually started with this technique and I think I was doing okay, but got bored and frustrated fast, so the end result is not great, at least as far as smooth transitions go. I love the Fanatic figures, one that I've painted and 2 remaining. They can bring some more color variety to the group without breaking the cohesion. At least that's what I think. Now, let's do some comparing with similar minis. So, starting from the left, we have a mentioned before Witch Hunter Captain from GW and Metal Mini. Then we have one of Giuseppe's Witch Hunters. Next, a plastic GW made out of Imperial Militia sprue. Then another Witch Hunter from Kickstarter and kit-bashed GW Plastic Mini. So, to be perfectly honest, I don't see a reason why all of those minis would not have a part in the same warband. But to be precise, Witch Hunter, second on the right, is the biggest mini. It is even visibly bigger than other Kickstarter mini visible here, the second on the left. As far as I know, differences in size among Witch Hunters from the Kickstarter are intentional. The weirdest mini here is actually the metal GW Witch Hunter Captain, first on the left. I mean, you can't really see it here, but his head, feet and hand palms are enormous. But all in all, I would not hesitate to put those guys in a one warband, like I said. With appropriate paint job, of course. Here we have some Warrior Priests comparison. Giuseppe Kickstarter mini in the middle, of course, is dwarfing over two metal GW miniatures, which are not a size consistent between each other as well. It is a beautiful mini with a great sharp detail, even when printed on my dated 3D printer with a resin that I'm doubtful about. This truly attests to the quality of Giuseppe's sculpts. Here we can see the size difference between Giuseppe's minis, thing I have mentioned before. Two minis in the middle are pretty much of the same size, Warrior Priest still being slightly taller. The guy on the right is visibly smaller, although proportion-wise he looks the same as his bigger brethren. So in the end, if I want to make him on par with bigger warband members, I can rescale him. This is one of the wonders of 3D printing minis yourself. It is worth mentioning, though, that this Kickstarter offers physical miniatures as well. So if you are in for that, you should be aware that your minis will have variants in height. Just like us, ordinary people, I guess. And there is something definitively cool in this huge towering over other guys Warrior Priest. Now Fanatics comparison. Well, again, AXIA miniature is much taller than GW Plastics. Obviously our Kickstarted Witch Hunters will be a perfect match with minis from previous Giuseppe campaign, the Exiles. These guys look awesome together. I must organize some grudge match between these two warbands. Here again our Witch Hunters with plastic GW Militiamen and metal Bretonnian Pilgrim in the middle. Here, apart from our Witch Hunters, of course, we have Bretonnian Sorcerers, very similar in size, and Imperium Greatsword, also similar but anatomically funny. I mean, he looks so thin, even in his armor, that I suspect he is an undead in reality. Okay, so what would be my closing thoughts in the end? I suppose you can tell that I like the miniatures from the New Hunt Kickstarter. These are beautiful sculpts, oozing with atmosphere of darkness, despair, fanatism, and blind adherence to merciless law. I mean, for example, look at the ogre and his mistress. Or the guy with the scarred face. I'm having a head full of stories by just looking at them, and that is a wonderful thing as far as I'm concerned. Now, I'm not a big fan of such a apparent, in some cases, difference in size between given miniatures, but like I said, in the end, in my case, I can rescale them easily if I really want to. Also, I am not so sure about some of the poses, especially those more dynamic ones. But these two things are minor concerns, because I think we have a wonderful assortment of characters here. The last thing I want to mention is the price. I'm gonna refer to digital files price, but the same can be said about the physical product. At the moment of recording of this material, there were 18 miniatures and the Kickstarter price was 35 euros. It's not nothing, but we need to consider the fact that these are not repetitions of the same miniature in a different pose or with few details changed. I mean, look at the minis. These are all pretty much separate sculpts and great ones for that. So, when this is taken into consideration, I would say that this collection of minis is worth every penny that is being asked for it. Well, and with this happy thought, I leave you. May your trips to Forbidden City, whatever name it bears, will be full of joy and adventure. Cheers! Until next time.